Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Brennan from Business and Brews, and this is episode 3, and I'm with my buddy Steve. What's up? From Ink Club Tattoo Studio, located here in the wonderful, beautiful area of Hudson, New Hampshire. What's going on, bud?
Not much, man. How you doing?
Thank you for jumping on.
Oh shit, man! Thanks for having me. It's a fun time.
All right, well, let's start off. By the way, our brew for today is 603. We want to give a big shout out to them. Thank you very much. We're drinking their 603 Seltzer Black Cherry Pomegranate. So let's give it a taste. See what it tastes like. Thank you, 603. We appreciate you. Oh, all right, not too bad. Tastes like soda water. And I will tell you, best part about it is they're located here in Londonderry, New Hampshire, and they are a local brewery. So we want to give a shout out to 603 Brewery out in Londonderry. All right,
Great,
so
cool.
back to you, my friend. Tattooing.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's start with the basic question. Let's give a little bit about yourself. Like, what made you want to do this?
To be honest with you, when I was younger, constantly drawing, typical story of a kid, but pretty much went to Greater Lowell Tech. By the time I reached my sophomore year, everything they had me doing, I was not interested in. I wanted to draw comic books, things like that. I like the over-exaggerated artwork and everything. And they were having me do landmarks of the city I lived in. And I had no business or want to draw anything from Lowell. I grew up there. It's in my head. I don't care. So when I graduated high school, I actually stopped drawing. And when I was about 19, I got my first tattoo, and it clicked in my head that I could do this. So come around sometime, got some money up, got my second tattoo. I realized I could do this because I watched it on my forearm. I could see it being done. So then I got a little more money done, got down, everything else. I decided I was going to buy myself a tattoo kit. And I will tell you, without great dumb friends and probably a little bit of the alcohol, and I don't really drink too much, so all my friends would come over after work on like Fridays and Saturdays, and they'd let me try this stuff because they all seen me draw and trust that stuff. But pretty much just I was trying to do it for a hobby, and I got lucky and fell into a big pile of golden horse shit.
Now, the one thing about it is, man, it's just everybody, there's so much canvas out there, which is your body.
Oh, man,
And
surprising.
so, I mean, and, you know, it's always good to get that one person that's going to let you tattoo them up, and then you can see what you did wrong, because at the time you're either not charging, or if anything, you're bartering, you're trading, whatever it is that you're doing, and, you know, you can even start with doing a juice box on someone or whatever it is they want, or, you know, you can do a great portrait, so.
I actually have a juice box that I want to tattoo on somebody right now. And it's like one of those little juice boxes you think, but the juice that's coming out of it is amazing. It says it on there, too. But, yeah, no, growing up, it was like when I started, it was a lot of bartering and a lot of free stuff and everything else. And now the ones that let me do that, I tend to appreciate them so much more because, you know, in your business, too, you understand, you know, people like to flaunt their stuff, especially when it comes to their cars or their bodies. So if you're willing to let me completely desecrate your forearm or some shit, if I could see it later on, if you stay loyal and you watch me through everything and you supported me and pushed, which nowadays it's really hard to come across, but I tend to take care of people like that. I tend to, you know, still treat them the same way we were back then. Like I will do as much as I can for as very little that costs, you know what I mean? So I try to pay that back. That's a big deal for me when people do that.
It's always the best, especially when the people that you look back on and you notice that they were there from you when you first started or when you first opened your doors.
It's almost like the people that believe in you the most, right there.
It is, and sometimes they're not even family members.
No, I'll tell you.
You know what?
Some family members that, you know, if it isn't free from you, they'll go pay for it for someone else.
It's weird how that works out. And you know, me starting up a business, it was crazy because I was not expecting all the love, especially from the town, which, you know, I got from, which I wasn't expecting. Because listen, I'm coming into a town. I came into a town and I was like, oh, you know, you got to make sure people notice you're out there. You know, just trying to get your name out. But when you have the support from your town, it's actually one of those things you look back, you're like, wow, okay, I must be doing something right.
Yeah, and it, I don't know, maybe for you, but for me, it felt kind of weird You know, because I also opened up in Billerica at one point.
Okay.
And I will tell you, I had to get signatures and I had to chase people down and I had to do things that were just, you could tell they were just hurdles put in your way. And then when you come into a town like Hudson, and yes, they're very standoffish on some things until you do what you ask and everything else. But they have been really, really good for me, to me, and everything. I've never had any kind of issues with them. Billerica, terrible place to open up a business. I wouldn't do it again. Massachusetts, anyways. But I have nothing but good things to say about the town of Hudson.
No, listen, man. Especially when you come in and you make it your town, especially if you live here. You know what I mean? So
Which
what
I
you
do,
want,
yeah.
and you want to build it up. You want it to grow, and that's the best part about it. So, when you first started tattooing, if you can remember, what was one of your
Just call me
first?
fucking old, bro?
What was your favorite? What was your favorite tattoo, or what was your first tattoo you ever tatted on somebody?
First tattoo I ever tattooed on somebody. Well, I think I tattooed myself, and it was a stupid green dragon on my leg, and I'm in the midst of covering that up, but I started covering up, I stopped covering that up because I just lost interest in the shit. But somebody else, with my buddy Jay, and I was working for the gas company at the time, and it was a Friday, and I told him the tattoo kit had just come in the mail. And he said, okay, I know what we're doing tonight. And I said, what are we doing? He says, you're fucking tattooing me. I said, I am not. As I was scared, I'd never held a tattoo machine ever. And we ended up doing it was a sun with some sunglasses on it. And I think it was like right here on his forearm. And I've tattooed him since. And I've tattooed him, the hell out of him. I tattooed the side of his head now and everything. But he won't let me touch that tattoo. He's like, fuck you, it's the first one. He's like, that was staying with me. And I'm like, man, I'll appreciate that. I like it.
But that must feel good, though. I mean, you have it. You basically, that's your starting off. That is the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Of many more. But also, and that's a sign that means supports you.
Listen, man, it's it comes from all the support comes from the least likely sources, right?
Yeah.
So you would think that most of the guys, like I fall in this category myself. Most of the guys are the loudmouths that they kind of ride your ass a bit, pick on you and shit like that. You think you're gonna have an issue or something. Those end up being the best people you have, the best people in your corner. With that little ass, like the little ass busting and stuff like that. That's them driving you to move you forward, to get you going. And where I grew up in the city and everything else, that was just the way. The Northeast way of support is basically putting you down and showing you that you have to build it and doing all this stuff. But when it comes down to it, those guys are your support team, and he has been for a long time. I'm lucky to say that I have a pretty good support system when it comes to tattooing. My clientele is great. Loyalty's a thing, and people understand when they're getting something good for something better. You know what I mean? They know, but you can come across the ones that don't. But yeah, that guy Jay, it really puts that line high for supporters, and it gets the other ones that they have to meet that line, or they're not. To me, they're not the support that I want.
Well, Jay, this shout outs to you, buddy. If you didn't give him that chance to put the sun on you.
That's Jay Stocky.
Yeah. So big shout out to you, man. Big shout out to you. So, all right, your clientele basis, what is it? Are you dealing with do you deal with a lot of teens, middle age, older people, a little bit of both? Like, do you have what is your base at? Like, what is the age limit when people coming in?
I'll be honest, man. My clientele is everywhere. I'm at the point now where I've been tattooing, I think it's 24 years.
Okay.
So now I'm tattooing the children of the people that I first started tattooing. You know what I mean? So now it's weird to think that I'm generational. And I'm to a point now where I'm also a gift. Like, people give gift cards to me for Christmas. You know what I mean? So I'm under everybody's Christmas tree and shit, stuff like that. So my clientele is basically 18 to probably 89. I've had a 83-year-old lady not too long ago just coming in and getting something for her grandkids, great-grandkids, and all that stuff. And she said she just started years ago. So my clientele's open. My clientele is just an array of ages, and it's great, too.
Now, did you guys move, or you guys always been in that same location?
I opened up in 2014 in Billerica, down on Boston Road. And then in 2019, Manny Souza, I was trying to get into Hudson before I went down there, and some stuff fell through. And then Manny Souza reached out to me when he had a place that couldn't stay longer, couldn't keep up the lease, or I think they were just moving or something. And he told me about it, so I had the opportunity in 19 to come in, and I've been here since July of 2019. I've lived in Hudson now since I think, probably like 04, 05-ish.
So did you so I know there was a tattoo shop near the Nan King. Were you there first, or you always
Nope.
been in this building?
I was my Hudson career has always been at this.
So
building.
it has been this building. Okay.
Yep.
I wasn't sure because I know they had another tattoo shop here in Hudson. It was like near the Nan King.
Yep.
So I wasn't 100% sure if that was yours, but I clearly, because I didn't know if you were there and then you moved, but that business is no longer in, and they're not even functioning anymore. I don't even know the name of their tattoo place.
I can name it. I mean, if you want to.
No, I mean we don't want to hurt no feelings right now.
As far as I know, I believe that they moved. I think they moved to Wyndham.
Okay.
But no, as far as I started as a home artist, doing tattoos out of my house and stuff like that, and then in between working full time as a truck driver, as a trash guy, and doing the stuff on the weekends, I ended up hurting my back. I ended up getting I kind of blew my back out at like 26.
Jeez.
Couldn't really walk right for a while, so my tattoo career started that like shortly after that, and I ended up in Nashua. Used to be Twist Tattoo in Nashua, and from there is when I opened up Billerica, and then we came up here to Hudson. I worked for like one shop for probably about 3 or 4 years, and then from there I've just been my own stuff.
That's the best way to do it though. You get in, you get your hands, get your feet a little wet, and then after that, you try to pursue your own, which is awesome.
That guy from Twist, he did me a solid. He at the time I was still tattooing out of my house, doing house parties and stuff like that, and I was doing very well for myself. But he was opening the shop, and he had a friend of mine who knew that I tattooed but didn't have a spot yet. He reached out to me and told me he'd get me my license and do this and do that. And when I went there, I was probably number 3 because I was still an apprentice at that point. But some stuff fell through, but he asked me to stay, and I ended up becoming like the manager / I ran the whole place for like 4 years, and it was a pawn shop, it was a pawn shop, it was a smoke shop, and a tattoo studio. You know what I mean?
All in one.
Yeah.
All in one.
So it was a big bang area, So it helped me understand different avenues of business and everything else. Where I told you, I'm a tech school guy, and I went to tech school, so I didn't have to do any real academic work, and I wanted to learn how to draw, and I didn't do any academic work, and I really didn't learn much of drawing. I just went there because I had to. So this place gave me everything I needed to get out into the real world and do everything I needed.
You didn't need to go to school for it.
Nope.
Which is good.
Well, I guess maybe the school of hard knocks kind of thing.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. I mean, hey, man, I didn't go to college, and I'll tell you right now, man, the best way of learning is, you learn from you start from with nothing, and you go into meeting people that are willing to show you and to show you how to grow as a business. So
100%. I feel like you gotta see the good and you gotta see the bad. Like you can read about it. You can read about the direction that you could be taken in or the steps that you can take in. But if you can't physically do that stuff,
yeah,
you're never going to be able to know how to handle it when it comes out.
No, and that's 100%. And sometimes it's one time someone telling you no, and then you go in to prove yourself that you're better than what that is. I mean, I used to, when I first started, even when I was a chef or cook, I used to remember I had some tough managers, like cook chefs. But I'll tell you, they built me into the person I am today. So
yeah, it teaches you when you're not good enough to get better.
Yeah, oh yeah, and their whole thing is you want to prove them wrong. Mm-hmm. That's always been my thing.
There was another tattoo studio that was in Hudson years ago before I got in with Twist, and I actually went in there and I showed the guy my portfolio and I asked him, "Hey, you got any spots? You looking for an apprentice?" Because in the tattoo industry, you have to do apprenticeships before you can get your license and all that stuff. But he looked at my portfolio and man, I wouldn't let you tattoo anybody in my shop, and I was heartbroken. I felt like the whole floor just fell out. And then his next line was, but if you pay me 10 grand, you can start tattooing tomorrow. I was like, what? So basically what he wanted me to do is pay him for my apprenticeship, basically pay him for the license. And that's where I learned I'm not going to be about money. I'm going to be about the artwork. And this.
Yeah, there it is.
So my tattoo studio does not have the flash on the wall. It does not have something that you're going to walk next to somebody and have the same one of. Myself and the artists that work with me at the shop, they like to do the custom artwork. They like to take what's in your head, put it on this thing, and then put it on your body, and then no one else gets that because of that guy.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you go to do tattoos, you always want to be different.
Yeah.
You want it to always be meaningful, too.
Yep.
You know, don't get me wrong. When we were younger, we always get that one tattoo. I mean, I had one on my arm that was a cover-up, and it was like one of those ones I got from this guy. He ended up doing it, and I was like, you know, at the time, I felt so cool that I had a tattoo. Granted, it was hideous, yes. It was horrible, but I liked it. And the thing is about tattoos is, and this is my one thing, they feel so good.
Oh, dude, I have there's videos of me online tattooing myself and everything. People are like, how can you do that? It's the same thing as scratching your back, dude. You know where it's at. You know where it's coming from and all this stuff. But there's some people that can't take it for anything.
But see, and that's the thing is, listen, I do. So the worst, like I said, the worst feeling I ever had when I did get a tattoo was the cover up.
Yep.
Because it wasn't like it was just like a quick like draw over. There was also shading and continuously reopening that. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, whoo. You know, I was like, you know, and then it was more. I don't want to say it was like the pain where you're like it was more
it's almost
like
spiritual.
Yeah. It was aggravating. It was like an itch that you can't get rid of, and you're just continuously and I was like, what the hell? So now like I have around my chest, like top of my neck. The top of my chest plate I have done with a rosary, and it goes around my neck. That didn't hurt. I had my elbow done, my whole arm done, this side done. And listen, not one hurt me. And if anything, I remember when I was getting one done, I was getting this one on my arm done. And I remember I got woke up because I was drooling. It was one of those things where for me, it's like therapeutic.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. I kind of think, people do, they do their yoga and they do their rhythmic breathing and shit like that. I tend to think of it as like, out with the bad blood and with the new ink.
Yeah.
I feel like that. I feel like when you have that ability to end up like getting into your own realm, getting into your own little area of your mind, when that tattoo's there, by the end of the tattoo, you should be able to push through some of the things that have been aggravating you, some of the things that have been hurting you. So I've tattooed myself a lot. I did most of this side myself. I did my chest myself. I did my lower left leg. I'm doing my right thigh now. And that's how I deal with, stress or anger or sadness or something like that. I would tattoo myself, and it would tend to make me feel better and stuff like that, instead of, turning to drugs or alcohol or anything like that. I've been enough through that just as I guess you would say second person to understand that that's not a good direction to go into.
No, and it's not, because if you basically build your life off drugs and stuff like that, that's what you're just going to keep relying on. So you always try to find something that's going to be that happy medium. And like I said, with tattoos, the best thing I could always you could do too is I had a friend who used to go get tattoos, but he used to personally get in an argument with his girlfriend. Yeah, so then when he went, it was therapeutic for him. When he got a tattoo, I was like, oh, all right, well, if that's what you do. He's like, yeah, I get angry with my girl, and then I go get tattooed, and I love it. I'm like, all right.
But to me, that's like, all right, so you can get out of your own head, but you still got to go home.
Now you still got to go back to that. But then I guess you're calm and mellow then, because you.
Yeah, but is she?
Probably not.
Yeah, she's still sitting there. You had all that time to think about it and feel better and understand that you did that on purpose for a reason. She's not thinking like that.
So let me go with. I want to ask you this question. Have you ever done any competitions? Have you ever won any trophies for your tattoos? I know there's some tattoo artists that go out. They do compete, or they'll go to a lot of shows or stuff like that to build up their name or build up their artwork, because every artist is different. Yep. Everyone has their own unique style. Correct?
Yeah, you would think. I think a I think a lot of it now has to do with what's being pushed out there. So everybody tries to go with the same style of what is making the money. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Then you have some guys that just appreciate a certain style and they tend to like that, to do that more. So they'll push stuff like that. But like, I think with the idea of the internet right now and everything else, I think it's really hard to get into your own unique style. But I also feel like there's people out there that have been able to have their work display them just by looking at it.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a weird situation. But there is some people that only like doing one thing, and some people only like doing others. Myself, I try to be able to do everything, because at that point I can't push. I don't push away any of the potential clientele or customers that come through that door. I try to make it so I can help everybody out on everything they need.
All right. Now, have you ever competed?
I've tried a couple. I've tried. I used to do the Live Free or Die tattoo convention in Manchester.
Okay.
Spider Bite throws that guy, John Thomas, really great guy. I used to do that right up until I think the last one was 2019. I actually went from that show and moved into my shop now on that same weekend. But what I noticed, and this is completely my own thought, but I've talked to a couple people and they think of some of the things the same way, is, when you're going into, say, like at their tattoo expo, they take other artists from the floor, and some of these artists are friends with some of the other artists. So it's been seen that certain ones weren't picking the best tattoo. They were picking, and they say you don't go by names, but everybody knows who did what. Mm-hmm. And the same people will be using the same models for every year, this and that. So, the circles get tighter, but he knows who's doing what. So sometimes you can see that there was favoritism being shown. Okay. So at that point, myself, I just started making it to where I'm just looking for my client to be happy with what they have. I don't need a plaque on my wall or a little trophy to tell me that, I did a good tattoo, or that even my clients are happy. As long as my book is full with people coming in and their repeats and news, I'm fine. But yeah, as far as like the chasing trophies and stuff, I can't do that. I actually tried to go out for one of the tattoo TV shows. There used to be two on, and
was that the one with Dave Navarro?
I didn't go on that one. I went on the other one.
We're gonna see who's gonna do a good tattoo today.
Hey, can't make fun of our tattoo god. We're telling you, that's
Dave Navarro.
In my shop, we have a drawing of a 3-headed Dave Navarro. He's like a snake, and one of them's in like a Batman snuggie, and he's the guy that sneaks into your head when you're tattooing.
Oh, all right.
Because it's almost impossible. No matter how long you've been tattooing, with the beginning, middle, and the end of the tattoo, somewhere along the line you're gonna start doubting yourself. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna worry. Am I doing this right? Am I doing this? Is this what's supposed to happen? And every now and then you'll hear that little Dave Navarro. When in doubt, tribal it out. Just put a thicker line on it,
Listen, I watched this series when he was doing the what was it called? Ink Masters,
yeah.
Yeah, so I would watch that and I was like, oh wow, some of these cover-ups are really cool. Seeing all the things they did. So that was some of the shows, and then it was always on like the Discovery Channel and stuff like that. So
yeah, I think it was on Spike for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the one I went to was on. That I was trying to go to was on Oxygen.
Okay.
And it was kind of cool. It was very. I went there with a guy I used to work with, and we were like, man, they're going to see that we work well together. They'll probably, like that and this and that and everything else. And we got there, and again, we had little portfolios. I didn't want big ones, just whatever. And the lady's looking at my portfolio, but has eye contact with me the whole time as she's spinning the page, asking me, what's your most meaningful tattoo you've done, or this and that and everything else. Wasn't even looking towards the artwork. She was kind of pretty much looking to see if I was going to be able to be a disruption in the house, or if I'm going to be any kind of drama or whatever. So I don't even feel like those shows actually
are true
on the artwork, on the artist aspect of it. So I've never tried again.
Hey, it happens, man. Sometimes, think about it. They're probably looking for more drama than anything else. They're not probably looking for the art. They're looking for the...
Well, like they say, if it bleeds, it leads, right?
Yeah, I guess that's 100%, yeah. So... What is like when you're going to tattoo?
Yeah.
Do you love doing are you more of a? Do you like to do the portrait, like portraits? Are you big on those? Like, what is when you're going in and you have a lot of people coming in for? What is it usually for? Is it for portraits? Is it for designs, lettering? Like, what? I know that's like a huge thing to kind of ask because I mean, granted, but like, what is like the biggest thing that when people come in to get a tattoo?
Well, like I try when you first start out, right? You got people that are just coming in for stuff off Pinterest or things they've seen, or like, hey, my buddy got this tattoo, I like this, like something like that. So you pretty much try to make it like that. And through my career, I've gone through like a few different phases. At one point, I was doing all the comic book art, like big colorful stuff, big bold lines, like the Wolverines and stuff like that. And now I tend to do a lot more of the darker black and gray skulls, maggots, things like that, skin tears and everything. A lot of the sexy clown girls and everything else, or even the women that just are wearing the glasses showing reflections, stuff like that. I tend to do more black and gray right now, and you know I also get flowers and everything else, but like more or less I've done a lot of the black and gray, the dark stuff, and a lot of the black and gray realism Americana stuff, like American flags, we the people, and you know, I got a lot of FJBs out there.
Oh, yep.
But yeah, a lot of just black work pretty much right now. Every now and then color will come back in spurts, and I'm like, what the hell's going on with all this color work? But then it goes right back. So it's kind of goes in phases, but black work is where I'm basically hitting right now.
So with that being said, is it because color will fade a lot faster, or is it just because you're not taking care of it properly? Like, what is it? What is just people now just want the black and white?
I think people just like the black and gray stuff because, you know, like I said, you get a lot of TikTok, you get a lot of you get a lot of Pinterest, you get a lot of that stuff. You get a lot of the basketball guys and athletes and stuff. They all tend to get the black and gray because it looks cool. You know what I mean? It's darker. You get more meaningful. Has a little more depth to it as far as the color work and everything. Color work takes a lot longer, hurts a lot more, and you're right, it does fade pretty good. And you know, that has to do with a lot of with complexion and everything else. But yeah, I think a lot of people just like the idea that black and gray is more badass, and it tends to pull a little more cred for some people. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what the fuck they have in their arms. If they're still pipe cleaners, they're pipe cleaners, right? They're still little dicks, I guess.
So I do want to give a shout out to a friend because I wouldn't have met you if it wasn't for him.
Oh, this ugly dude?
Yeah. So Randy Humphreys, I want to give a shout out to. And the reason is I was out in Tennessee, and while I was out in Tennessee, I wanted a tattoo while I was out there.
He didn't give you one?
No, he did not give it to me, but he showed me all the work that he has done on him.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to give a shout out because I would have never met you, which I'm really glad. I'm glad I walked into your shop and said, hey,
no, I appreciate it.
But I was at a shop in Tennessee, and I've been looking to just get a small little tattoo, like a little tattoo I wanted just to say I was in Tennessee. But
can't ask Randy about little tattoos.
No, because his whole body's like torn up with all. He has a skeleton. He's got it all. But I will say though, it was funny because I went there to go do some training for PPF, and I was like, I need to get a tattoo on my arm real quick. I just wanted to get something small. He's like, go next door to this guy. So I did. I go next door to this guy. This guy ends up getting me in and out. I think it was like 45 minutes. Just small, like get a nice size little guitar, or whatever. But you know what's crazy is you look at the work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's work is different. Like I'm gonna say this on here, and I hope you don't mind I'm saying this, but I had John Burnham do my whole. He was he was the first one to actually fix up my arm and do the work on my body.
Johnny was a big name when I was younger and getting into the industry. I mean, he's still a big name now.
Yeah.
Guys opened a lot of doors for a lot of people.
He did. I believe he opened up for. I believe he helped out Tyler Jones. I think is one of them.
Yep.
He was out there.
Jones
He's out doing his thing. But yeah. So I know. So John. So when I first met John Burnham, my wife was getting tattoos, and she introduced. So he opened. So basically, I went in. And I was like, listen, I don't know what I'm getting, but I want to make a memorial for my arm. That's what I was. So I went in, and he customized everything. We got everything that I wanted to have to do with my mom. Then then the rosary that I have around my neck. But then when I went to, like I said, I went to Tennessee, right? I noticed there's different. So everyone has their own unique, like their own unique way of tatting. And I got to tell you, I know it's an art, but it's also one of the coolest things because you can get your body tatted up by, so many different people, but none of them in my eyes, I don't think any of them are going to look the same.
No, the tools are always different. The artwork is always, if they're looking at a picture, yeah, okay, you pretty much can work with people. But the artwork is, if it's in the artist's head, you're never going to match them up because everybody has their own vision of what they're looking at. So you're right. Every artist is going to have something different.
Yeah, but and see, best part about that though is, what about getting? So that's the thing is, like, maybe you go and you get yourself tatted up and you get work done by different people. So that when people do look at it, they're like, wait a minute, oh, he did that. Oh, he did that. That guy did that. Wow, look at the work. Look at the different features that is added to you. Because to me, it's all about. I like the one thing about it is if I see someone get a fresh tattoo, I'm like, oh, what's this guy? What's this guy got on it? What was he? Or you have the people that are doing their leg. You got their whole leg done. You're like, all right, what'd you get done on your leg? Oh, you got a juice box. What was the juice box for? I have no idea. I was drunk one night. I want to get a juice box on my leg.
Oh, you're gonna make me say what that juice box says.
I might have to come by for a juice box tattoo, just so I can say I have it.
Please.
I gotta keep it hidden though. I don't want to be walking around with two. But actually, if it's a good looking juice box, maybe we won't hide it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll even spell it in a different language if you want.
But I will say it's so crazy, especially with all the tattoo artists that are in this world. There's so many. Just like there's detailers, photographers, like so many, and everybody has their own distinct way of, tattooing it. And I gotta say, I gotta give it to you. The fact is you can keep a hand, keeping your hand still, being able to go over, shading. I mean, I think my arm would fall asleep if I was continuously doing that.
You would think because, but like your arm's down. It's still, in order for it to go to sleep, you have to lose some kind of fucking blood flow to it or something. But moving around and everything, it's just same thing as a carpenter with a hammer. You know what I mean? You just get used to it. You just keep doing all that stuff. But to touch on something you just said, there is 1,000% all kinds of tattoos out there. So tattoo artists out there. It does not mean that they can tattoo.
Well, I mean,
you know what I mean? Like,
I get it.
People have equipment. That's one thing. But the people that can actually tattoo, you have to always make sure you vet these people first, because in this industry, there's a lot of people that like to say they can do something, because this is an industry of fast money and fast favors or whatever. So just always, I tell people to make sure you know the person you're going to and what they can do, what their skill level is, because I've seen some people real bad shit, even from professional shops. You know what I mean? Just because somebody said they could do it doesn't mean they can.
No, and actually, the one thing I will say, and I'm not gonna give this tattoo place I'm not gonna mention the name.
Giving the name, nope.
But I went into this tattoo shop. This is when I was out in the mean streets of Tennessee, and I was out there. And while I was out there, like I said, I wanted to get just a guitar, the tattoo. And it was hard trying to find a tattoo shop. Luckily, where I was at, it was one right next door.
Yep.
But I walked in, and then having the discussion about how I wanted a tattoo. I had one person say, "Well, it's gonna come out like this," but didn't have no creativity. Mm-hmm. Then I had another one that was supposed to be his hand was hurt, and it's like, I want to drive. How else am I gonna make my money? Yep. So I felt like it was like an excuse. And the thing is, if I'm renting a chair, because I take it anybody who tattoos, and let's say you're the owner of the shop, the other person's the owner of the shop, they have to pay just like a haircut person, right?
Well,
they have to pay for their booth. It runs
differently. There's some people do percentage, some people do booth rental, some people have caps, there's all different kinds of ways. But you're right, it's basically you pay up to the house, basically.
So when I was there, I went and asked him, like, hey, I want to get a tattoo. This is what I'm looking to do. And this guy just puts up my hand. And I was like, oh, okay. And I looked where his hand was, and I'm like, how is that really going to affect you? But I was like, I didn't say anything. I said, okay, all right. So clearly he doesn't want any money. So then I went and talked to the other guy, and then the way he was expressing how I was going to look at the tattoo did not sell me on it.
Nope.
Because all I wanted was a guitar, and then you're telling me you can't do it. It's going to look awkward. So then I went back over and went and had a conversation with Randy for a second, quick little conversation. He's like, wait till the owner comes in, and you're going to see. Mm-hmm. I get in there. The guy, I go and said, listen, this is what I want. I just want a tattoo of this. Listen, when I tell you this man actually went and drew it out for me, and I looked at it, I was like, oh my God. I go, this is more than I was asking for. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, this is what I'm going to do for you. Ended up giving me a super price, dude. Yep. And it took 45 minutes, which I just say, I will tell you, I was very tired that day. I was trying to sleep. I was trying to take a nap, but he would talk to me. So it's perfectly fine. But I will tell you, seeing the work that he did and seeing that the time that he took, and he actually went out of his way to say, And there is other artists that will always do this. They will always draw it up for you. I'm not saying they don't do this, but
listen, yeah, there is, and there's ones that'll make you pay for it, and that's just the idea that the public in a whole, you want to trust everybody, but sometimes if you draw up a picture for somebody and can I take that? Can I show that? Yeah, all right, I'm gonna come back and get it done. Then they'll take it somewhere else, get it done, and a lot of artists in the industry tend to look down on that. Like a lot, they consider it stealing. You know what I mean? Their artistry's out there. They didn't get anything for it. Me, on the other hand, if I'm tattooing you, I'm going to draw whatever the hell you need. You know what I mean? I've actually been known to draw things for people, just the ideas of them, and, just give it to them. Because I don't own people. I'm not going to force you to get tattooed by me.
yeah.
But if I can give you an idea or a piece of art that you can run with that has a better description of it than what you have, so be it. Go ahead. I've been in it too long to worry about that stuff.
See, and I think the thing is, if you're willing to come in and get this tattoo and have this person draw it out, I don't think they have really a right to take it. You can look at it, maybe take a quick picture, have it. But the fact is, you're now taking the work that an artist worked on, because once again, that guy, just because you got that tattoo, doesn't mean that guy drew it up. Now you have an artist who went and took his time to draw it up, and now this other guy's gonna go tattoo it, and it's gonna probably look nothing like what you also had, because I guarantee you didn't finish the ideas either.
Yeah.
So there would have been more added to that tattaoo. That was just a quick little sneak peek of what was supposed to be done. So
yeah. Well,
So,
it's all little things. All little things like you cover yourself, but you're still gonna give a little bit. You know what I mean? But
Well,
yeah.
I gotta tell you, I'm very amazed with tattoos, with the artwork, and I gotta give it to anybody out there who does do tattooing. So, with that being said, what is when people come in, like, what's the funnest tattoo you've ever done?
Funnest tattoo. That's pretty funny. Well, at my shop, my right hand dude, my best friend, Jay Casabon, he has a thing called the Black Nipple Society.
Okay, all right.
I think I maybe talked to you a little bit about this before.
You did. Let's let them know about it.
So, all right. So what it is the shop, and they're free, by the way. Black nipples are free. But me and Jay were talking about this one day, and we were talking about we should just tattoo one nipple black. And he's like, "That's a great idea." I said, "Dude, all right, you go first. I'll do it tomorrow." He's like, "All right." Laid him down. We went live on Facebook. Just put like a sensor bar right over one of his nipples, dude. And it was fun to do, and it was funny. The video's still up there. It's great. And I go home, and I was living with my parents at the time because I was going through a divorce and stuff. And my dad stops me at the door. "Lift your shirt up." "Why?" We argued for about 10 minutes. So I finally take my shirt off. He goes, "You do that black nipples shit, don't ever talk to me again. That's stupid." So I was like, I went in the next day like a scolded kid. "Jay, my dad said I can't do it." So I don't have one. But there's like 44, 45. Some of them have doubles, But what they do is they take silhouettes of an object. Like one dude has the Millennium Falcon on there. Another guy's got crossed axes. Another one's got a Chinese star on there. And they just sit there and they get them going. So those are pretty fun. Those are the pretty fun ones that we get to do. It's more the interactions that we get with them that make them fun. But just recently we had a guy go in there and he got both done at the same time.
Oh, all right.
Jay works with me, and his daughter also works with us too. And they were tattooing this guy's nipples at the same time. And that was just great because that dude was just like, if he was on this table, it was just up like this. It was just like the arch of a bridge. It was just pretty funny watching. But, Randy's back was probably one of them. I did a big skull on Randy's back. That was pretty fun to do. Man, there's so many. There's a lady I tattoo now by the name of Jen. And this lady sits like I've never seen anybody before. But she has a big, almost like traditional tiger head on her belly that she did for 10 and a half hours with. Full color. That was pretty fun.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Jesus. That's unbelievable.
Listen, I'll tell you right now. There isn't a person in this world that can tell me that women are not tougher than men. Because not only the child thing, but I've tattooed, I don't consider myself a small guy. I don't consider you a small guy. I've tattooed people that would make us look like pebbles, dude. and they're afraid of the needle. Well, they're just afraid of the pain. And it's just like, come on. They get tattoos this big and crying. These ladies are getting things across their rib cage, and they're sleeping, and it's just nuts. So
No, and you know what it is? It's funny. It's because whoever walks through the door, they don't know what kind of pain. They could be the biggest guy in the world.
Oh,
and you know what? They get a little bit, you know what I mean? So I listen, I completely get it. Me, I won't lie. When I first went and got my first, like, legit, actually got a real tattoo, not a prison tattoo, I would call it, because that's what it was when I had it.
Did you get a tattoo in prison? I mean, that's
No, it wasn't even in prison, but it felt like it. It was this guy's kitchen table. Yeah. I sat there at the kitchen table, like, oh yeah, feels so cool. I can't show all my friends. Look at this tattoo.
It's like my buddy Jay.
It was horrible. It was just horrible. But I will tell you, I went into it because I was really nervous. Because actually, the first one I did get was the one done by John Burnham. It was actually my rosary.
Oh yeah.
And everybody kept saying this was gonna hurt.
Sternum, yep.
But it didn't. It didn't hurt at all because I have a cross and a rose right here on my right here, and that didn't affect me at all. And then people are like, oh, the neck hurts. Well, that didn't hurt either. So I was like, okay, so what's gonna hurt? Then all of a sudden, when we started doing my arm, we started going with the sleeve and starting to work it in. Then this is the time when he did the opening, when he had to reopen a wound. I will tell you, I was getting so pissed, and I wasn't even like, it's not even that I was mad, but I was like, when is this gonna stop? Like, this is unbelievable.
When the machine lifts up.
Yeah, so I felt that in there, and I was like, So getting a cover up, yes. Listen, it's either that or get laser removal.
I've had that done.
The laser removal.
I had this whole upper right arm.
Does it hurt?
It not as bad as getting tattooed, but I got lucky. I only had to get it done once.
Okay.
Normally the laser takes like 10, 12 sessions, all depending on what you got. And I guess the tattoo and the ink that I had in here, it was a cover up as well. The black ink, it was all black, and it was gone in the first shot, so I got real lucky. But what sucked is it got all the black off, but it made the fucking tattoo underneath it look brand new.
Oh.
It was my ex-wife's name.
Oh, okay, all right.
So my wife loved that.
Okay.
We were in pictures all summer, and shit. She's like, I hate you. You know, so
all right.
But pretty much, it's similar to if you held an elastic up like this and just held it on your skin and let it go. It's like that, but it's just like it's a constant. You know what I mean? So I'm like you. I tend to think tattoos feel good, and this only took 8-10 minutes or something. So it was more of the healing that sucked for me, because as soon as it was done, they wrapped it up with gauze and everything, but you felt the swelling automatically. And the next day there was water blisters and shit like that, and that happened for a while. But yeah, it's the pain. But again, it might have been the spot too for me, because right here, even when they say you get tattooed, isn't so bad. But if you have to go underneath or inner thigh or some shit, I'd probably just let it go.
All right, yeah, because I was thinking, if anybody had like something underneath their arm, I'm like thinking like the weak spots of your, like especially right here, especially when the people used to pinch you here. I can only imagine something.
Uncles. Yeah. I've heard some people getting it done on their face, and they say that doesn't feel nice either.
Oh, all right.
You got the people that just, running through the wrong crowds in life and making bad decisions, and now they're trying to straighten out, and not that they should have to take it off, but they feel like taking it off will help them out. But they're going through that, and like I said, it takes a bit.
I can only imagine.
Out, so it's probably gonna suck.
I used to always joke around with people when I would say we're going to get a tattoo. I'm like, yeah, I'm on my way to go get a tattoo. They're like, oh my God, what are you getting? I'm like, I'm getting a tattoo of my face, on my face, of my face. And they're like, where? I'm like, on my face. They're like, wait, so you're going to tattoo your face? I'm like, yeah, of myself. And they sat there, and they actually would sit there and believe that. And it was pretty dumbfounded, the fact that they thought I was going to get a tattoo of my face on my face.
I'm laughing very hard because I was watching last night. I was watching Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
Going to get tattoos of butts on their butts. I was like, Jesus Christ. And I remember that shit when I was younger and saying that shit to people. So it's funny when you catch that person that doesn't catch sarcasm.
No, it's very hard. But I mean,
love all that shit.
I was always thinking, I'm like, but I could always look young then. If I get a tattoo of myself, on myself, I'll probably look young forever, wouldn't I?
I don't know. That's almost like putting like old ass in a brand new pair of underwear.
That's
it's still
true.
Gonna look like old ass.
Yeah, that's true, especially when I sag later on. Like, the saggy eyes.
Still gonna look like old ass.
So with the world as we get older, right? There's always a door that opens for people that people that want to grow and try to maybe do this in their future.
Yeah.
Is there any advice you can give to people that are starting up or people that actually are artists? Because I know you worked with Tyreek, correct? He was an artist.
Tyreek, my boy, I love that brother.
Phenomenal work he does. I got to give it to him. He's always been an artist.
He's come up fast and hard. He's dedicated. If you happen to know anything about him, he puts his mind to it, and it's done. But it's not even done because he has such a higher level of expectation on himself that it's almost becomes like an addiction or an obsession for him. So with his tattooing, it was great for me because I met Tyreek when he was like 15, and he was a little hood rat dude, just like to run the streets, get drunk, do stupid shit, be around stupid people. And, he's one of those people that actually learned from his mistakes. But while he was paying for said mistakes, he was also defining his future, which was awesome to see because he knew what he wanted and he knew where he had to go. So, I would tell a lot of artists that mentality is great. It's really great. But I will tell you too, sometimes it's also a downfall because, you tend to take yourself away from everything else. Like he definitely honed his craft and everything. And right now, as I'm watching him, I can see that he's taking more of life in, which is great for me. But I feel like he had to make so much of himself so quickly that he's able to do that now. But Tyreek is astonishing, dude. I can't. There's nothing bad I could say about that guy. I mean,
he's an artist. He's not only is he lyrically, he's an artist. Poetry, same thing when it comes to poetry, and then his artwork especially from drawing all the way to his tattoo skills. And the thing is, you gave him a chance. So my question is this: you did this, for this. So for kids that are going to be coming up that want to do this, or maybe they could pursue in this, like, what is their advice you can give to them, or to people that want to be a tattoo artist?
Step cautiously, because just because you have the tools doesn't mean you can do the work. Oh, sorry about that.
No worries.
And the things that, I stepped out, we didn't have the internet, and apprenticeships were not given out like they are today. We didn't have YouTube or anything that we could look at, so we had to do it that way. But now where, the industry isn't so held back, it's not so hard to break into it. Step cautiously on what you want to do. You know what I mean? If you are young enough to where you have the ability to maybe stay home and have some freedom with financial wise and stuff, seek out that extra education of art and stuff like that. Seek out the extra, seminars and stuff like that. Do everything that you can do to only make yourself better. Like, never think that you have to do this all on your own. Make sure that you're always trying to hone the craft. Make sure you're always trying to do something that's going to make yourself better from yesterday. You know what I mean? So I would just say, just think about what you're doing. Think about what you really want. I tell people a lot, the tattoo industry itself doesn't give you anything in the end. There's no retirement. There's no 401ks unless you do that all yourself. You know what I mean? Unless you decide to, become the businessman. Like, tattooing, it's kind of like a pirate's life. You know what I mean? Like, we do what we want, when we want, with whoever the hell we want. And, you'll give, whatever. But as you get older, that tends to slow down. You have children, you have a home, you have cars, you have all these bills that pile up. So now you understand, like, that street mentality, that hustle and everything is still there, but it has to go to a different direction. Mm-hmm. So now if you plan on doing this for a job, for a career, learn your stuff, but still understand that it's all always going to come back on you. You're always your own person. There isn't going to be anybody there to catch you when you fall. So if this is something that if you have the shoulders for, if you have the back for, because everything gets heavy in life, give it a try. But if not, just get used to it first. Just give it a little bit of a run. This isn't like a job; it's more of a lifestyle. Like, like I work every weekend. I work nights every night. I can make my own schedule and stuff like that, but it's kind of like an on-demand job, right? You're not going to watch that movie until you press the on-demand button, and they don't get paid for it unless they demand it, right? So I don't get money unless people come into the shop and want to get tattoos. And like you said, there's tattoo artists all over the place. So at that point, I have to make sure I offer
Quality work.
and maybe something else that somebody doesn't. The quality work is one thing, but the experience you have is another thing. You know what I mean? Like to being able to talk. So with a lot of kids now, they don't even like talking to each other. Never mind just people they're working with.
Oh yeah, you can't go to a It's like going to a barbershop. You have to, when you sit down with your tattoo artist, you gotta have a conversation.
Yeah,
unless you're the type that's going to sleep.
Yeah, and they.
Because you guys are a therapeutic. When you're tattooing us, you're our counselor. We're letting you know about everything that's going on, and we talk to you. So you guys are also paid like counselors.
This is why I think fuck colleges, because I have to go to school for you to tell me that I can listen to somebody else's problems. No, fuck that. I do that anyways.
And you don't even need a pad and pen. You can just draw it right there on them.
No, it's just called, hey, I've been there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you give the excuse of people, you give the reasonings. You talk about, things that you guys have gone through together and shit. So, yeah, no, but I'd almost say, it's a lot of thinking. It's a great job to have. Don't get me wrong. I'd never change a thing. But there is a lot of thinking to go in after it. You know what I mean? Like 20s, 30s, don't even worry about it. Rock yourself, rock out, do whatever you got to do. Go anywhere you want to go. Try not to have any children because that stops a lot of it. Baby mamas, boyfriends, husbands, all that shit, they all get jealous. That stops a lot of stuff too. I got lucky. My wife has been very supportive with me through the whole time. Like I met her before I became a real tattoo artist. And I mean, if she was sitting here right now, she'd probably tell you the worst part of tattooing is probably being the wife part or the partner part, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I would just say give it some solid thought and keep that education as new and as rotating as possible.
Okay. Now, having your own business, being able to walk in, what was your favorite part when you opened that door? When you knew you had your own business, it was your shop. What was the favorite part? Was it the sign on the door? Was it the sign above? Or was it knowing when you walked in that door and unlocked that door and you had your booth, you were running that was your store? What was like your favorite part about all that?
My favorite part is that I could keep my family together. Because when I got into this, like I said, I was running the shop. I was paying the shop. I was doing all the work, whatever. So I was paying to work, right? Like every artist, like we talked earlier. But I had three other guys with me, Jay being one of them, and two of the other ones pretty much don't talk to anymore. But that shop that we were working at, the guy was constantly having some kind of construction in there. He was putting something else in here. He was using like the money from tattooing to pay for a bar that he just opened next door and this and that. And, the guys and myself also got really upset that we're working in construction, always some kind of sheetrock dust all around and everything. And got to the point where they were like, listen, I'm going to find a new place to work. And I didn't want my team to split up, dude. If anything, you know what it's like. Even if even if it's not perfect, it's still yours. You like going into the same people you see all the time.
Yeah.
So I said, why don't we all four of us go in on one shop and everybody just do. And at the time, not everybody was financially ready to do it. So I said, screw it. I took the jump. You know what I mean? I wasn't financially ready to do it by any means, but I tried to do what was best so I can keep my boys together, keep my brothers with me. And in that, it was really hard to do. If it wasn't for my dad, I probably wouldn't have been able to do it. But my dad fronted me some money, gave me a loan to get my studio going. He helped me build it and everything. And then when I was able to open the door and I got those guys in there, it made me happy that I could keep my family together and that they didn't have to worry about that anymore. You know what I mean? And I think everybody's like, well, this is your dream, right? I never had one fucking dream of owning a tattoo studio and having to deal with employees and stress and making sure that this was paid or that was paid. Or, I always thought life was just going to run me through it. Just tell me what to do. Like I got my CDL license and I was going to be a truck driver and I was happy with that. But yeah, everything I try to do mainly, it was to keep my family together, the people that made me happy in life. And I'll tell you, that was a blessing and a curse because I've lost more family from owning this studio than I have gained. And that's really terrible because I feel like, you know, when people see what's going on, I don't know if it's a jealousy thing. I don't know why everything has happened and stuff. I'm probably sure I've done my terrible shit in their stories too. You know what I mean? But like, I feel like when you do that, it's hard. So I think that still the best thing for me was doing it to keep my family together, and that was what was happy. And now I have the ability to take care of my family at home. You know what I mean? And I make a pretty decent living, which I didn't think you could do. I never had a thought that I'd be doing a tattoo job in my life, but I don't even feel like I work because I get to basically do this shit while I'm hurting someone. So, but yeah, just keeping my family together was the main thing for me when I opened my shop.
See, that's the number one thing is family. I mean, mine was when I got the logo on the door.
Yeah, it kind of stamps in reality, right?
And crazy that at the time, especially when I opened up these doors here, when I went to go open it, I couldn't believe it. I was like, I finally have my own shop, and it was like one of those things. But once that's your name, once you're on there, now you got to be 100% committed. So
yeah, it gives you, now you know why it goes like this, why that tight feeling hurts, because you know now everybody's waiting for you to keep the lights on. You know what I mean? And as long as these guys are working, as long as you're working, the shit will pay for itself. Like I tell everybody, the shop kind of runs itself on as long as there's stuff coming in.
Yeah.
But it takes the, promoting yourself, promoting the shop, like promoting events and stuff like that. That's where it gets hard. That's where a lot of people lose what they think they have to do. Like they wait for everybody just to come to them.
yeah.
But like you said, there's 1,000 people doing the same exact thing you're doing everywhere. So you got to stand out a little bit.
And you got to make yourself different.
You got to be that sore thumb to everybody,
Exactly.
And a lot of people don't get that. But when you do get that thing on the door, it sets it in.
It is. It's one of the feelings to say, look, I can do this, and this is what I'm going to do.
Yep.
And your best part, and then the thing is, this is the challenging part, keeping that name on that door.
Yeah, exactly.
Keeping it.
But, the sign on the door is one thing, but the reputation behind that door is what I find to be the driving force between anything. You know what I mean? Like I've changed different logos. I've put different designs with my name on it and stuff like that. And nobody has ever really seen a logo and been like, oh, I know that one. But when they hear the Ink Club, they do think of the people that work there. You know what I mean? Like just like yours, Be Nice Detailing, right? It's you. No matter if one of your guys details that car, it could have been you. In their eyes, it's you. You did it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They don't get the name. So, yeah, I think, honestly, when it comes down like that stuff, just the reputation alone is what I try to do. I try to make sure I treat everybody the way I want to be treated. I try to treat people fairly. I try to make sure that, if there's issues, I take care of them, stuff like that. Because I don't want to be known as a piece of shit, as a guy that's just money hungry or anything like that.
Yep.
Because that's not me, and that's not how I'm at. That's not how I run life.
So if somebody wanted to come out and get a tattoo for you, what's the best way they can get in contact, or get in contact with your other people that are with you?
They can message us through the Facebook app. They can message us through Instagram at the Ink Club Tattoo Studio. Mm-hmm. We also have. I usually tell people to come by the shop, check out my appointment book, check me out, have a little verbiage with me and shit like that, just to make sure you like me in general, Mm-hmm. I have Jay Casabon who works there. You can call and talk to him there. Grant Effinger, he works with us. He usually likes people to go through the page because he doesn't want to give people, doesn't want to take away from the people getting tattooed and their phones. We also have Amber Casabon, Jay's daughter. She's there too. She's there like, I think it's Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday, I believe. But she has some openings and stuff like that. So does Jay, so does Grant, and myself. But yeah, usually the best way for me is I tell people, if you want to reach me, just come on in. We'll talk. I have my own Facebook that's under Steve McCara. I have my own Instagram, which is funny because it's InkMasterMac13. And I've had that Ink Master before that fucking show came out. But yeah, you can message me through there and stuff like that. More than likely, I'm still going to tell you just to come by, and because I try to make it so that if you'll take your time to come in and see me with no appointment, then I know you're serious. So I don't have to grab. I sometimes feel like I don't have to grab a deposit from you, and it just lets me know how serious you really are.
And where's this location?
28 Lowell Road, Hudson, New Hampshire, right next to the golf guys that you interviewed.
Oh, Seth Deschards, golf center.
What's that?
And
name again?
then is Seth Deschards Golf Center.
Yep.
And then there's also the Good Place that's right over there. So
The Good Place
Yep.
is great. They have great food. GM over there, his name's Steve. Awesome dude, too.
Yeah.
Awesome guy.
Yeah, I met Steve a few times. He actually brings his business over here, which is really nice. So listen, this is the best way to do it. Go walk in, sit down and talk with Steve. Get to know him and his guys and the young lady that's there, Amber.
Yep.
And this way you could see, get comfortable with getting a tattoo. I mean, listen, everybody wants a tattoo out there. But listen, you want to get people that are going to have... they're going to give you good quality, give you your time, and then also you can vent to them. This is the best part about tattoo artists. You can sit there and vent with them. You can.
You definitely can, but like, you're trying to invent an Ed Gein or something? You're trying to get us to just want to go home and kill our own family?
No, because then when you're done at the end of the day, this is what you can do, though. Think about this. If you're going in,
Go
they're
to your
coming in
house
to
and
vent.
snuggle you?
But just think about this. I'm vented. Hey, listen, I had a rough day today. Listen, you're gonna be putting a needle in my arm for 4.5, 5 hours. You're gonna hear about my situation in life. I want to talk to you. Don't let me jump off this bridge. I'm here to vent to you. So help me out. And all you gotta do. This is the best part about being a tattooist.
Yeah, bullshit. There's no.
Yeah. Hey, did you want that smiley face on your arm?
We don't even ask. We just put it.
Oh, okay.
No. It's a good time. And again, I just want people to just.
Well, know that I'm
come
not
and
going to
enjoy
vent to you then.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna make you cry. Anyways, it's going on your titty too, ain't it?
I'll get the black out.
You're getting the black nipple. It's free.
Yeah.
The black nipple's free.
Is it? I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm in.
We're not gonna put it on your mom though. 'Cause I can't put a black nipple under your mom. It's impossible. Terrible.
Listen, I honestly appreciate you coming out with me today to sit down and talk with me. This has been great. And seriously, if you're really serious about getting a tattoo, go visit Steve. Go visit his crew.
Please do.
The Tattoo Inc. Club right here in Hudson, New Hampshire. Get to know them. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. And I hear nothing but great things. So thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you, brother.
This was awesome.
I think we should do this. Like, this should be a longer thing. This should be like every weekend kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, listen, I can make it probably happen every weekend. We do something different all the time.
I'd definitely be single.
603. Thank you very much for this. Yeah, I don't know. Same thing. I can't. Listen, my wife would kill me if I was doing this every single day. She's like, "There's no time for us." I said, "I know. I'm sorry, honey." So I gotta make sure I make time for her.
And I was very behaved today. Our shop is very edgy, and it says some crazy shit. And we like to have people come there, be themselves, talk what they want, do what they want. Like, no disrespect, no judgment, no nothing. Everybody's welcome. Come on in. And I hope to see people.
Hey, and I do want to give a shout out to a lot of the people out there. All you other artists that are out there doing your thing, can keep going. Tyreek, one of you, I see you.
Keep it up, brother.
All the stuff you're doing. Big shout out to John Burnham. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Tyler, I know we see a lot of your tattoos out there. There's millions of tattoo artists out there, but you got to find one that you are going to be very comfortable with and work with. And you know what? After sitting down and talking with Steve, this guy is unbelievable. I hear nothing but good things. So please give him a try. Just go sit in the shop and go shoot the shit with them. I promise you'll have a good time.
Oh, I forgot. We also have Lou Tamaro. Lou Tamaro is a college professor at SNHU.
Yep.
He does video game artwork, but he's first a college professor. Second, he's a proud dad of 2 sons.
Yeah.
And a married man, of course. But he's also an artist at our shop too. So he has some stuff that he can help you with too.
All right. Well, you heard it. Come on down. Go visit him at the Tattoo Inc. Club out in Hudson. And let's go!